Welcome everybody back to another edition of Matt Watson Media. As always, I'm Matt Watson, and today we're going to be talking about the 1-3 start to the Baltimore Ravens season. A team with Super Bowl aspirations, the Ravens were not only favorites in their division, but a contending team that many expected to take a leap this season. I, for one, picked the Ravens to beat the Green Bay Packers in an early Sunday morning slants edition where we previewed the season. I felt as though Baltimore's elite defense and star quarterback would finally be able to put things together after an early exit last year against the Buffalo Bills in the division round of the playoffs. Instead, Baltimore's taken a step back. They've fallen to 1-3 on the early season, and it feels like things are collapsing. Following a blowout loss in Kansas City in Week 4, Lamar Jackson exited the game early with a hamstring injury, putting his status for this week and future weeks in doubt. If Lamar can prove to be healthy and suit up in Week 5, it does not help the odds that are stacked against the Ravens at this point in the season. A 1-3 start, despite playing 3 contending teams, is going to make it hard for Baltimore to dig back into this race. The battle for the AFC North is far from over, as the Steelers currently lead the division with a 3-1 record, and the Cincinnati Bengals, who sit in second, are 2-1, set to play the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football in Week 4. Baltimore's already picked up a win over the Cleveland Browns, making them 1-0 in the division, with both games against the Steelers and Bengals still to be played later in the year. Winning the AFC North would obviously guarantee a playoff spot for the Ravens, but at this point, getting to the playoffs is not the goal. Winning a Super Bowl is the goal in Baltimore. How many seasons will the Ravens make the playoffs, win a game or two, and then get bounced? We've seen them get as far as the AFC Championship game, where they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, who are now 6-1 in the Mahomes era against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, Lamar has been fantastic yet again to start the season. In 4 games, including exiting early against the Chiefs, Jackson has thrown for 869 yards, rushed for 166, has 11 total touchdowns, 1 interception, a passer rating of 130.5, and a completion percentage of 71.6%. Compared to last season, where Jackson finished runner-up for the MVP award, he had thrown for 858 yards, ran for 308, had 7 total touchdowns, 1 interception. He did have 2 lost fumbles at this point last season, had a passer rating of 102.3, and a completion percentage of 66.7. It is safe to say Lamar Jackson has taken a step forward, but his teammates have not. The main issue with the Baltimore Ravens this season has been that the defense cannot get any stops. Baltimore, through 4 weeks, has let up the most points in the National Football League, allowing a combined 133 points in their 4 games. This comes out to 33.3 points a game, making it seem that every single team that they play has an elite offense. Now, of course, the Ravens have played against some elite quarterbacks. In Week 1, they lost 41-40 against the Buffalo Bills, where Josh Allen put on an absolute clinic late in the game to come back and win the game for the Bills. While I think Josh Allen, who of course is the reigning MVP and a Super Bowl favorite, I think that the Bills' offense is great, but I do not think that they are 41 points great week in and week out, especially against the Ravens' defense. I think this was more of an indication of poor defense by Baltimore than it was an elite outburst by Josh Allen and the Bills. You can say that in Week 2, allowing 17 points to the Joe Flacco-led Cleveland Brown offense was a step in the right direction, but I think that's more of an indication of the Browns not being a very good team than the Ravens having a strong defense. Once you get into the following week, a home loss to the Detroit Lions, where the Lions put up 38 points, again shows you that the Ravens are just unable to stop offensive teams. While Jared Goff is not an elite quarterback by my standards, the Lions as a unit have an elite offense. And again, I think this is more of an indication of Baltimore not playing well, rather than Detroit just putting up an absolute clinic. Then finally, we get to Week 4 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Baltimore was missing some key pieces on defense, and offensive turnovers were giving the Chiefs some short field opportunities. After Lamar Jackson left late in the game, it kind of felt like Baltimore had just waved the white flag and were ready to get out of Kansas City. Again, however, allowing 37 points to a Chiefs offense that has struggled early in the season was not a great indication of where Baltimore is as a team through 4 weeks. If the Baltimore Ravens are going to turn their season around, they have to play better on the defensive side of the ball. The division is still in play, the playoffs are of course still in play, and the Super Bowl title, despite having a 1-3 record, is not out of the question. It all relies on the defense in Baltimore. Coming up for the Ravens, they will have 3 straight home games against quality opponents. The Houston Texans, who have started off 1-3, have the best defense in terms of points allowed this season, but are 27th in points scored. This should be a great test for Baltimore, assuming they have Lamar Jackson, because the Ravens have been able to put up points, but have not been able to stop anybody. If the Texans' offense can break out against the Ravens, I think their season might be in trouble. But if the Ravens can put up quality points against a strong defense and hold the Texans to a limited amount of points in this game, I think it could be a step in the right direction. Overall, this should be a game between two 1-3 teams that the Ravens are not only favored in, but should win. The following game against the 3-1 LA Rams, who could be either 4-1 or 3-2 at this point, will be another quality matchup. The Rams have been pretty middle of the pack, above average, if you would say, in both points for and points allowed. Puka Nacua has broken out this season and has become the number one target for Matt Stafford, and Davante Adams has been a strong number two. I think this is going to be a great test for the Ravens as well, especially if they can defeat the Texans the week prior. This could be a way for them to get back to 500, being a quality opponent, which they have not done so far this season. And I think, again, it's just a good test for the defense. Can they contain Puka Nacua and Davante Adams? Can they contain Kyren Williams in the running game? And will they be able to hit Matt Stafford? That'll be the keys to victory, obviously, in that one. So, again, back-to-back weeks of a good test for this Ravens team. Finally, the week after that will be against the Chicago Bears, year 2 of Caleb Williams and year 1 of Ben Johnson as the head coach. Coming off back-to-back wins at this point in the season for the Bears, it'll be interesting to see where they are record-wise heading into this matchup in Baltimore. The Bears offense is starting to put things together with Caleb Williams. I think you're starting to see some progression from a year 2 quarterback, but the Bears defense has not been good. This is going to be another, example for where the Ravens should put up a good amount of points, but can they contain Williams and the Bears offense? If they can do that, especially at home, you're looking at 3 winnable matchups here. You could get to 4-3 with a win here, assuming they pick up victories over the Texans and the Rams in the weeks prior. So overall, this is 3 straight home games against quality opponents, winnable games for Baltimore that can help turn around their season. Do you think that the Baltimore Ravens will turn their season around? Let me know in the comments down below. This has been another edition of Matt Watson Media. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share with friends. Tune in Tuesdays live at 8 o'clock on the channel for live editions of Sunday Morning Slants and NFL Podcast.